ओ ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा जिह्वे पिबस्वामृतमेतदेव गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। नारायण 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 नारायण। Firstly, I wish all the listeners a very, very happy Republic Day. Today, it's a very auspicious day when our mother Bharat Mata is actually celebrating her 77th Republic Day. So, I wish you all a very happy Republic Day. We'll continue from where we left in the last session. Verse number 18. I'll quickly read the verse first and then we'll continue with the meaning from where we left in the last session. Verse number 18, chapter 3. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थः नाकृते नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थः नाकृते नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः. As mentioned in the last session, Supreme Consciousness Bhagavan Krishna in these two verses 17 and 18 is explaining to us, elaborating to us about the man of realization and telling us that this man of realization is beyond the cycle of karma, beyond the cycle of duties which each one of us are bound by in this creation. So we are all governed by this cycle of creation or this law of creation, whereas this man of realization, since he has already achieved whatever could be achieved with all the lives put together, so and there is no more achievable left for this man of realization. This man of realization has been placed by Bhagwan himself as beyond the law of karma, beyond the law of creation, beyond the cycle of creation. So this man is the one who experienced, I'm speaking about this today, on the Republic Day. This man is the one who in this whole creation is actually, experiencing true freedom. True freedom is the word I'm using. Huh? All of us want to be free. Yes, that's true. But how many of us are able to experience it? This man of realization is the one Bhagwan says and declares that he is the one who is completely free from everything in this creation. No duties are there for this man. Nothing achievable is left for this man. There is even the cycle of karma is not applicable for this man. The law of this creation or the cycle of this creation and is already taken this man beyond it. He's already crossed. So I would use the word, one of the things when we pray to Mother Shakti, Mother Parvati, Mother Durga, so to say, one thing we pray to her is that she is the one who is governing this Prakriti because she is the Prakriti herself. Okay. And remember, as I told in Brahma Sutra also it comes, Prakritischa, there is a sutra which comes in Brahma Sutra also, that this Prakriti also is always ashrit or dependent upon the Brahman. Brahman means the supreme consciousness. And that is why I already told you, when we have this Ardhanarishwar, form of Bhagwan Shiva, where, it's half portion is of Bhagwan Shiva and half portion is of Mother Parvati. Means what? A man who is realized can never be separated from Brahma Vidya. And Mother Parvati is nothing but Brahma Vidya herself. So she is Sakshat Brahma Vidya Swarupini. And how can you conceive of a guru who is, separate from Brahma Vidya? Brahma Vidya can never leave a guru. It always be, with the guru. And our Bhagwan Shiva is Adi Guru. He's the guru of all gurus. He's from where, Guru Parampara starts. As I mentioned in the, Mangalacharan also, Sada Shiva Samarambham. It starts with Bhagwan Shiva. He is the Adi Guru. Adi Guru, how can you think of a guru is separate from Brahma Vidya? Brahma Vidya will always be Alingi Kritya, will always be in constant hugging more with the Guru. Why? Because it's always part and parcel of the Guru. That is what the form of Bhagwan Shiva and Mother Parvati is all about. We can keep any form, so to say, to think of, but in literal way, this is how you need to understand about Mother Parvati and Bhagwan Shiva. They are Guru and Brahma Vidya, always, attached to each other, always move along together, always in a holy wedlock with each other. Let me just say this way. That's the better way to explain. So here, Bhagwan is saying that this man of realization is the one who I place at such a position that he is free from all laws of karma. He is free from all kinds of actions. He is free from all kinds of duties. He is the one who can celebrate day after day, week after week, year after year, actual Independence Day. Independence Day means freedom, freedom from everything. This man, this person. I'm not using the word man. Don't say man and woman. There is no differentiation here. As I mentioned to you before, also remember one thing: Jiva is neither a man nor a woman. The distinction or differentiation between a man and woman starts at the level of body. It's a bodily difference only. Otherwise, at the level of jiva, a jiva is neither a man nor a woman. Only when it acquires the body of a man, it gets identified as a man. When it acquires the body of a woman, it gets identified as a woman. So there is no bias here. That is why I already told you it is above all the kind of distinctions you can think about. Jiva itself, and life after life, one who is a woman here takes as a man's form in the next life, male, female, all this keeps on going on. The creation to understand is pretty complex. So continuing from where we left, so this Mahapurush, this man of realization, this saint is above everything. Why? Because he has nothing called praptavya left in his life. He has nothing left to be achieved in the life. Whatever could be achieved, the pinnacle of achievement he has already achieved. Since there is nothing left to be achieved by him, there is nothing left to be gained by him, there is nothing left to be chased by him. And that's why he has no doership also left. He is not bound by any karma. He doesn't need to do any action at all. Because why we do action? We do action because we have achievables left in life. We have set achievables in our life that I would desire this, I desire that. To gain those achievements, I have to get into action. And to get into action, I take up doership. When I does action as my own action and with the doership in mind, that's when I can gain the result of what I want to achieve, right? So this person is completely free from all those kind of things. Why? Because there is nothing achievable left for this man of realization at all. For us, what works out today is that since our intellect is identified with what? With identified with the body, with the jivatva, with our duties. We have since we have identification and in our antakarana, in our chitta, in our intellect, in our memory, we are very I would say closely identified with things around. That is why within us always these duties starts to arise. I have this duty, I have that duty, this is my duty, that is my duty. Why I have duties? Because when we think that why I have duties, when you carefully think on these lines, you will realize that since I have achievables left in my life, praptavya left in my life, that is why I have duties left in my life. Since I have praptavya left in achievable left in my life, I have duty kartavya left in my life. Once we are able to take off the achievable from our life, if we are able to remove achievables from the background, from the core of our life, remember, when we are able to do that, then we will realize that duties also no longer rise in our intellect. They don't rise in our antakarna at all. That is why Bhagavan said what? Naiva tasya kritena artha na akrutena iha kaschana artha. This man of realization, if he does not do anything, by not doing anything also, this man's nothing is going to get spoiled. sometimes I told you in the last session, I elaborately explained about that fact. First we run after to achieve things, and then we work hard to maintain what we have achieved. So it constantly keeps on going in our life. None of the things we have achieved is automatically maintained. It's not something which is naturally maintained. We only have to maintain it, right? First we achieve it, then we maintain it. So does that mean that oh, let me just sit idle? Remember, Bhagwan is very much dead against this fact that you should sit idle. If you have jiv bhav means if you have this thought in you that you are a jiva, you need to remember karma is something which you always have to keep doing. Since this man of realization, nothing is going to get spoiled, or nothing, from no place this man is going to fall down by not doing anything. That's why this man has got no duties, no responsibilities left at all. Such a state, what we can think is when we can think or conceive of such a state is what is called as jnani. Jnani means man of spiritual wisdom, and not only man of spiritual wisdom, man of realization, let me say that way. And such a person is the one we'll call them Atmaram. Atmaram means the one who is constantly reveling in the self. Such a person is the one whom we call Atma Santushtaha, who is always ever satisfied with the self and self alone. Is always feels fulfilled with the self alone. And such a person is the one who we'll call him Atma Triptaha, who is contented with the self all by himself. And such a state is what, or our Upanishads, our Veda, whatever glorify in its way. It's in Katha Upanishad, in the second chapter, 15th mantra, it is said, Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti. This man on his own will walks around in this creation with nothing left to be done, experiencing complete freedom, absolute freedom, and that too eternal freedom. Since it is absolute, complete, and eternal, it is not a state from where this man is going to fall down. I'll explain you certain other things also as we move along this verse. If such a state could not have been there, I'm giving you that hypothetical example here now. If such a state would not have been there, then any man who uses his or her thinking, any person who uses his or her thinking ability, why will anyone do spiritual practice? Had there been no such state at all, why would anyone who is a who's a good thinker will ever put hard work or effort towards doing spiritual effort? If at the end of the day everything is temporary, everything would have been temporary, and all the achievements are temporary, then, and what is the difference between a spiritual achievement and a worldly achievement? There will be no difference left if everything, in every achievement in this creation, and which arises out of our hard work, everything is temporary. Then if spiritual achievement is also temporary, and worldly achievement is also temporary, then what is the difference left? Why will somebody even work or spend their time on working towards spiritual achievement at all? Then might as well live the life the way it is. And this is how many people understand, because they are not able to see the achievements which come out of spiritual efforts. Nobody in this creation, I'll keep aside realization for a moment. Nobody who spends effort towards spiritual awakening, or towards spiritual sadhana, towards spiritual efforts, who spends time, effort, and hard work on spiritual effort, nobody in this creation and can say that such people don't achieve. It is an experience of everyone who puts effort towards spiritual growth, that they all achieve something or the other. They will never walk away from this life empty handed. But whereas worldly achievement is not like that. Whatever you achieve in this world, you'll have to leave here and go. and you'll have to start from scratch in the next life. The only thing which will go with you is your punya and your karma phala. These are the only things, two things which, of course, grace and blessings also goes with you. Grace and blessings I'm not counting there, because that is something which, all those people who work towards spiritual growth, only they are able to achieve. So rest everything in this world, all the worldly achievement, whatever position you may have, whatever achievement you may have at worldly level, you may have swanky car, swanky home, whatever you may have, everything will be left here and gone. You will not carry anything from here, except what you are going to carry with you is, there are only three things you carry with you. Whatever spiritual effort you have put in this life, remember one thing, whatever spiritual effort you have put in this life, whatever hard work you have put for spiritual growth in your life, or I would use the word vertical growth in your life, remember that thing you will carry with you life after life. Nothing goes as a waste. Not even a minute spent on spirituality goes for waste. And I'm telling you, sitting here at Vyaspir itself, that not even a wee bit effort on spirituality spent is wasted. We may not be able to see it immediately because we are not spending good time on it, right? And we are only, I'm going to explain that also as I move along, that how some of us do spiritual sadhana also. I'm going to come to that. So Bhagwan, and here supreme consciousness Bhagwan Krishna had said a third thing also here, that in the life of such a person, and there is nothing left to be achieved. Why? Now that's one another aspect which I want to bring out to explain. Had it been a session in Hindi, it would have been much easier for me to explain, but I'll try to explain you as much as possible. There are two things which are there, which constantly moves with us in terms of all of our efforts and actions. Now, two words I'm giving you in Hindi also, I'll explain you in English also, so that we are able to understand. The two words are sadhya and sadhan. Sadhya means that which is to be achieved. Sadhan means that those tools or those things which I use to achieve that sadhya, to achieve that goal, achieve that at which I have the target which I have kept for myself, that which I have kept as achievable for myself. Sadhya and sadhan. Now, in the life of a man of realization, since he has got nothing achievable left, no sadhya left, if since he has nothing to be achieved any longer at all, nothing achievable left, he's already achieved whatever could be achieved. If to establish which, he has to be dependent on a sadhan. Now, sadhan means the tools which we use to achieve that. We are dependent on the tools. Why? Because we have to achieve something. To achieve something, we have to gather tools, and we have to gather things around situations. I can give you umpteen examples on that. There are what I call them. I call the sadhanas facilitating factors. Okay, let me use that word than tools. That will be easier for us to understand. So sadhan will be facilitating factors, and sadhya will be the goal or the achievable which I have set for myself. Okay, sadhya and sadhan. Now, in the life of a man of realization, since there is nothing left to be achieved, no achievable left, no more target left, so this man, and it is established that this person does not have to be dependent on any facilitating factor. His dependency is completely gone, because we are dependent on facilitating factors because we have achievable left. Now this person has got nothing achievable left, so he no longer needs to be dependent on any facilitating factors in this creation. Now remember one thing, many a times we will see that facilitating factors are not something which will be dependent directly upon. We are dependent on them. Why? Because we have some achievable left, and they are to be put in use for us to make us achieve the achievable. That is one thing you need to remember about sadhan and sadhya. Many a times you will notice that the facilitating factors or facilitating things or facilitating tools are not something which we need to be we want to directly depend upon. It's not something that we desire to depend upon them directly, but since we have some achievable left, and these are going to be facilitating in factors to help us achieve that, that's why we end up depending on certain things. And they are only there to help us achieve what we have set as achievable. Now such things, such objects, such facilitating factors are called as artha vyapashraya. I'm explaining from the verse itself, because Bhagwan has used the word no, artha vyapashraya. Some words which are difficult to understand, I'm taking time to explain them separately only, so that we end up completely understanding that verse. These are the things which a person is dependent upon only to help them achieve the target which they have kept for themselves, or goal or the achievable they have kept for themselves. Now, Supreme Consciousness, Bhagavan Krishna says, for a man of realization, and this man of realization, for a man of realization, he's reached such a state that in this entire gamut of creation, entire creation put together, there is no object or nothing left in this world. Now, when I'm saying object, why I use the word nothing also along with it? Sometimes it could be objects, sometimes it could be people who are facilitating factors for us. Some people help us reach somewhere. I'm going to explain that as we move along, so that you get a clarity on that. So, for this man of realization, in this entire gamut of creation, there is no object or no one on whom this person has to be dependent upon ever. Now, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes in his Bhashya, which I read in the last session, Nacha asya sarva bhuteshu brahmadi sthavaranteshu bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashraya. Now, see the beauty of Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji's Bhashya here. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji elaborates that line that to free this man of realization from any kind of dependence, he gives the span of dependence we could have in this whole creation. So for that, Bhagwan Bhashyakar writes, starting from Brahmaji, who is the creator. Creator means who's the one from whom the creation has come about. But I've already explained that to you earlier also. Starting from Brahmaji, who had facilitated this creation to come out. Let me just say this way, that will be easy for you to understand. From starting from Brahmaji, from whom we have all come, starting from there up to up to everything movable and immovable in this creation, there is nothing for this man of realization that he had to be dependent upon for gaining something. This man of realization does not see this kind of dependence. He does not see that as dependence in any of the things, starting from Brahmaji up to all that which is movable and immovable in this creation. Why? Because whatever highest was achievable, this man has already achieved. He has already achieved, and there is nothing more achievable left for this man of realization. Kabir Das ji says, Jinko kachu na chahiye, te shahan ke shah, manva beparwa. They are just roaming around freely from here and there. Somebody goes to them, they will spend some time with them, bless them, give them some knowledge, and move around. They don't even desire, what you call that, appreciation also. They don't want credit also. They don't want you to recognize them as realized also. They are completely free. They have, just think, for us, we are dependent on so many things in our life. We want respect, we want money, we want earning, we want that people should see us something, we want our achievements to be known, we want praise. And there are so many things we are dependent upon day in and day out. Bhagwan Bhashyakar writes the meaning of the word vyapashraya as prayojana nimitta kriya sadhya vyapashraya vyapashrayanam. No, first thing is that we have something achievable left. So we have utility left in things. and to gain that what we have kept as as achievable, all those things which have utility for us to achieve, we need those things now, right? Those which are to be utilized to gain, to help us gain that at what we have kept as achievable, whether it could be object or whether it could be person. Then what happens? To gain that object, which is a facilitating factor, which is a tool for us to reach that, we will have to end up doing action also to gain that object first. So we do that action, and from doing that action we gain that object first, and then we utilize that object to establish what we need to achieve or gain what we need to, what you set as a goal. Now the example we can give is, in today's world, let me just give you an example, that I want to author a book. Now, these days, pen and paper, I will not give you that example. So, to author a book, I want to write something, I want to publish something. So, in the context of today's world, I may want a computer or a laptop, right? To type out some things there. Then I would need software also. Of course, I would need a computer or a laptop with the adequate software where I can, jot down my points and thoughts and create what I need to publish, right? So to gain that laptop or, uh, the computer, I will have to, put effort first. So first I will put effort to gain that. So that is the word. What is the meaning of the word prayojana nimitta? That will become a cause, that will become a tool, that will become a facilitating thing, a nimitta, for gaining in what I have set as an achievable. And that action, and that will help me achieve what I have set for myself. So first, by doing the action, I will gather those tools, those facilitating factors, I will gather them first. Then, and using those things which I have gathered, through my effort and hard work, I will have to achieve what I've set as an achievable for myself. I'll work towards achieving that. So, either we do for achieving the achievable directly, we do certain actions, or we gain the facilitating tools or things first, as to set us out to work towards gaining the achievable. Why? Because with the facilitating tools and utilitarian things is what we can gain what we have set as achievable for ourselves. So, either the thing will become a cause for us to achieve, or a tool for us to achieve what we have set for ourselves, or it will become a direct. I will work towards directly achieving the goal without going through the facilitating. There are some things which I can achieve directly also, but most of the things we need the facilitating tools to actually work towards gaining that. So, which means what? Technically means what? That which is sitting at the place of facilitating tool or factor, that will be coined with the term called Vyapashraya. Why use the word Vyapashraya in Sanskrit? The word Vyapashraya, why? Because I have to be dependent on these things to set out towards what I have kept as achievable for me. So ashraya, vyapashraya, ashraya word is there. Now ashraya means dependence. I have to be dependent on these things to actually gain what I have set out as achievable for myself. And for them, I have to put efforts first. I have to work hard towards them. If we are completely equipped with all the things in our life, if all the facilitating factors we have already gathered in our life, if then we can straight away set towards achieving what we have set as achievable. Okay, because we already gathered those things. Now, why I want to gather those facilitating tools and factor? Why? Because so that I am able to achieve whatever I set myself for, or set in for myself as achievable in my life, whatever I set as achievable in my life. So so that I can achieve them. That is why I would want to become first equipped with all the facilitating tools and factors first, right? Nobody work towards gathering facilitating tools or factors or objects or people only for the sake of them. We don't gather objects and tools for the sake of objects and tools, not even people that way. We gather them so that I am able to reach such a comfortable position that I can work quickly towards, I can set myself quickly towards reaching my achievable goal. So I gather them so that I have everything in my hand, and so that I can straight away put my effort towards achieving what I want to achieve. Now remember, one example I'll give you. I'm giving you at the level of people first, huh? Sometimes we see that for certain things a person has to do lot of run around, and the same thing which we have to do lot of run around, somebody who is already equipped with that power, that authority, or those tools, by just a mere phone call he can make that happen for us. You can see around people, you know I'm just giving you an example for you to understand. I want to apply for a job. Let me just think that, of course I may have to work hard, I may have to sit through a lot of interview process. Among a lot of candidates, I'll be just one of them. I do not know how many positions are there. I have a very, what do you call that, very bleak chance of getting that job. But somehow I find someone who has got authority, who has got the power, who has got the what do you call that, who has got the authority for that particular to help me get that job. So I go to him and request, because I know that person. So I go to him and request, sir, I'm actually going to apply for this job. I know you have power and authority over in this area and in this place, and I'm sure your phone call can really help me gain more closer to achieving that job. So will you do that for me? So oh, maybe that just one phone call of that will save me a lot of effort at the back end. That is what is what sadhan sampann. Sadhan sampann means those people who are equipped with the facilitating tools and factors. That is what is called sadhan sampannata. Sadhan sampannata means they are already equipped with all those things. In daily transactional world also, remember one thing: in a person who is equipped with facilitating tools and factors is or power or authority, remember one thing: they are considered as effective people in the social system, in the society. They are considered as effective. Why? Because their effect is pretty strong. What lot of hard work may or may not help me gain that, maybe the one phone call of this person can help me gain more closer to that. It is more effective than my hard work sometimes. So that is what sadhan sampannata, or being equipped with facilitating tools and factors is all about. you know but whatever those people will also, if just step back and look at those people who have reached that stature in the society, they also must have worked hard to reach that place. They must have worked over a long period of time to reach there. And they have reached there with their own actions. In reality, what we say as, or we set as achievable in our life, if that also could be a facilitating factor or tool or sadhan for some other people. That which is achievable for us may be actually a tool for somebody else. I'm just giving you an example which in real life you will understand. And that when we work hard towards things, we understand that we gain sadhan only. Sadhya we are not able to reach. Achievable because it's keep on changing in our life. Every time we achieve something, that becomes a sadhan, that becomes a tool. We set out for something different. When we gain that, we realize that it becomes a tool for us to gain something else. So in reality, if you see, we are running towards sadhan only all the time. Sadhya, though none of us have actually never reached only. Where have we reached the the sadhya even today? I'm just giving you an example. In real life, you will understand. Till the time I buy a vehicle, okay, till that time that vehicle is a sadhya for me. But the moment I buy it, it becomes a tool for me to run around and go from place to place, isn't it? Another example I'll give you, for a person who is unemployed, for that person, and job is a sadhya, is an achievable for that person. But once that person gets the job, after that it becomes a sadhan to make his family meet their needs, to run his family, to maintain his family, to nourish his family, even to nourish his own body, to maintain continuity of its body. That becomes a tool. All the achievements, remember one thing, if we really try to look at, we will see that all of them fall in the category of sadhan, facilitating factor and tool. Sadhya or achievable is something which none of us would have ever seen in our life. Now, I'll give you from spiritual arena also, I'll give you an example. The purity of antakarana. We call the purity of antakarana is something we should work towards, something which we should set as achievable, to be achieved by us, right? But when we reach there, we'll realize it also becomes a tool for us to go beyond what we have understood ourselves to be. Now, in this manner, if we see even samadhi or deep meditation, so to say, that also will fall under the category of facilitating factor or facilitating tool. Now, which are the things which that we can call as sadhya, achievable? You will realize so many years we have been working hard, but we have been only gathering facilitating tools or facilitating objects till now. And that is what Bhagwan and he's saying here, kaschid arthavyapashraya, kaschid arthavyapashraya. Now, for for human beings, for all of us, for people, actually, for gaining the facilitating tools or factors, action becomes a must. Action has to be done. Action is a must to gain the objects or the facilitating tools. Even to maintain a state also. I'm giving you an example here. Even to maintain a state of spiritual achievement also, we have to do consistent action. Now, does that mean just drop it off? Now, please don't take that example at all. There is nothing in your life for which action is not required to maintain that, whether it is education also. Now I'm just giving you an example. All those people who study medicine, I'm just giving you as an example. Don't take, I'm pointing out on medicine or anything. It goes for engineering, it goes for any stream, but I'm explaining you from that perspective. All those people who study medicine, they first do MBBS, the MD, then DM, then so on and so forth they do. But I'm saying, medicine is such a fast changing world. To keep them abreast with the current changes, they have to consistently study, consistently work towards attending conferences, attending this, attending that, reading materials, so that they are not left behind. To maintain that thing itself, they have to work so hard. It goes for anything. I can give you another example. Okay, let me just take the other side also. Other side means that give you another example, not only from sciences only. Just think of a person who is in a profession of law. Them also, they have to constantly keep themselves updated, new things getting added, changing, Supreme Court changing some guidelines, this that they have to consistently be abreast with what is going on around the world. That is the level of maintaining something. The same thing goes for spiritual achievement also. I told you in the last session, with spiritual achievement, the thing you need to understand is, if I do consistent spiritual practice, you may not be able to see a clear or achievement, so to say. But remember, the moment you drop it, you will realize what comes inside you, what gathers inside you, that dust or dirt or that unnecessary things, that becomes very difficult for you to cleanse off. So to maintain that I'm able to maintain the purity of my antakarana, I work hard towards bhakti and puja and karma yoga and all those things. So remember, for growing from where I am, from whichever situation I've achieved in life, whatever state I've reached in life, for growing from there, for growth from that place also, I need to work hard. Now, those people who you call as jnani or man of realization, remember, er, for them, amongst these three things nothing in they are able to they are going to achieve. They are not going to gain anything new from doing any of these things. That is why it is said that they are not dependent on anything starting from Brahmaji onwards, from anything in this entire gamut of creation. Whatever you can see as movable and immovable things in this creation, starting from Brahmaji, they are dependent on nothing. That is why is written, Bhagavan Bhashyakar has written, Brahmadis Thavaranteshu. That is such a peaceful state, that is such a consistent state, that it can never get spoiled by anything. It can never be disturbed by anything. It is such a consistent state that this person cannot come down from that state to experience anything else, or he doesn't need to experience anything else, by the way. When I say experience anything else, so you may say that poor man is not able to. Don't do that. We are all poor. This man is at the pinnacle of achievement. He's experiencing all that we could put all our lives put together, past, present, and future. What we put together, all the happiness we would have experienced, this man is, you know, much above, infinite times above that. I told you in the last session that, his Ananda is starting from Brahmaji up to all that which is mobile and immovable in this creation. Whatever they have achieved as happiness, as whatever all of them have achieved as happiness, if you total that up, and that too, all of the jivas, past, present, and future happiness, you total that up of all this that is in this creation, this man of realization's experience of bliss is far above that. We are only experiencing fraction, millionth of a fraction, so to say. I would use the word. So now, if our state is something which is different from us, now remember one thing, we are right now at a state which is different from us. Since we are at a state which is different from our true nature, that is why we have to be dependent on something to consistently maintain it. And here, for the man of realization, it is Atmaratihi eva syat, Atmatriptah cha, Atmani eva santushtah, tasya karyam na vidyate. Hey Arjun, O Arjun, now since you have not reached this state, you have not reached this amazing state yet. You've not reached this. I would use the word samyak darshan when we use the word. You have not reached this level of vision yet. This level of clear vision yet. You know, What is the clear vision? What is the highest state which is Bhagavan is talking about? The state of a man of realization. Since you have not reached such a state, it and Bhagavan Bhashyakar tries to give us, take us back to second chapter to explain what Bhagavan has said there. Yaman artha udapane sarvata samplutodake. you know oh and I've already explained that verse when I was taking that up in the second chapter, where Bhagwan says when somebody has reached that level, that he's completely reached the fulfillment and contentment, so to say. He has got nothing achievable left in his life, doesn't have to be dependent on anything at all in this world. Since you have not reached such state, that is why you must do what I'm telling you to do in the next particular verse. So before I move to the next verse, verse number 19, I will read Pujya Gurudev's commentary on verse number 18. Then we'll take up the verse number 19. Pujya Gurudev says, an ordinary man is whipped up to action either because of his anxiety to gain a profit or because of his fear that by not doing work he will be incurring a loss. But an individual who has the subjective experience of the spiritual stature in him, who has therefore discovered an eternal satisfaction in his own self, and who has reached perfect contentment therein, will have no more action to perform. He has nothing more to gain through activity, nor can he have any fear of losing anything in the world due to non performance of any action. Such an individual, rooted in the experience of the self and depending upon nothing, neither any being nor any object for his joy and bliss, has discovered the subject. The objects of the world are essentially nothing other than the subject being tossed on the waves of agitations in the mind. Since Arjun, you have not attained to the right knowledge, all pervading like the flood waters, that is why the next verse is what I want you to follow. So I'll read the next verse. We'll take up the meaning, whatever we can do today, and then we'll take up the remaining in the next session. So I'll read the verse. First, I'll read the verse, then I'll read the Bhashya of Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji on this particular verse, and then we'll go into the meaning. Bhagwan says in the verse number 19, chapter 3. तस्मादसक्त सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म paramapnoti purushaha. Another brilliant verse by Bhagwan. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji says in his Bhashya, Tasmad asaktah sangavarjitah satatam sarvada karyam kartavyam nityam karma samachara nirvartaya asakto hi yasmat samacharan ईश्वरार्थम कर्म कुर्वन् परम मोक्षम आपनोति पुरुषः सत्वशुद्धि द्वारेण इत्यर्थः. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, I'll tell you one beauty before I go into the verse. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji never ever misses a point of highlighting something he wants us to, pay attention towards. The word here is, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji says, Sattva Shuddhi Dwarena Param Moksham Apnoti Purusha. A person can attain moksha, liberation, through Sattva Shuddhi Dwarena. The Sattva Shuddhi, or Sattva Shuddhi means the sattvic purity of Antakarna becomes the doorway for achievement of Param Moksham. Param means the ultimate, which is liberation or realization, and for all the kind of mankind. He for all mankind, so to say. So he never misses the point to highlight that aspect that please pay attention. Sattva Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddhi. Always make effort. All spiritual endeavors, all spiritual practices are to reach that level of Sattva Shuddhi. Karma yoga is also for sattva shuddhi, to gain the what you call that, the sattvic purity of antakarana, so that our antakarana with that sattvic purity becomes subtle enough to understand and grasp the subtle subject of supreme consciousness and this cosmos and the creator. And with that, we are able to, unless and until you understand and grasp it, you cannot sit down and realize it. You have to grasp it first, right? To understand it first, it should be free from all kinds of doubts. Once it is free from all kind of doubts, that is when you can sit down and realize it. Realization happens much later. So it is always the sequence in our Sanatan Dharma. Spirituality is very clear: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasan. It's not Nididhyasan first. It is not Manan also first. It's Shravan first. First, you have to listen. You have to spend time with a guru to listen to the satsang, listen to the spiritual knowledge. And from there, slowly, gradually, with the attitude of service, seva towards the guru, sit down and clear your doubts. Establish the oneness with the guru in such a way that you are able to gain whatever he is teaching and that will happen, and with your attitude of service and seva, your attitude of respect, service and seva, so to say, with the grace and blessings of guru, that knowledge starts to reside in your intellect, and with that you will be able to slowly, gradually move towards being doubt free with your manan. How will you do manan without shravan? Manan, you'll have to be with a guru first to do Manan, no? You will have a lot of doubts which will come. That is what I keep telling in the WhatsApp group also. Doubts will come, because we are coming from a different and, life and different culture altogether. We are coming from a differently cultivated culture altogether. And we have so many negativities also inside us. So doubts will come. It's not that doubts will not come. I'm just giving you an example, and it is very, strange to understand. But unless and until we know the core reason, you will never be able to realize what is happening actually. The thing is, in a session where Guru is teaching, there may be, for example, 30 students. I'm just giving you an example. Now, Guru is giving the same knowledge to all the 30. But why is it that all the 30 receives differently the same knowledge which is given from the same podium, same stage, same class? Because it's not that there is something wrong in the guru, that so the preparation and the qualification of the intellect and along with the seva bhav and faith and all of the student, so much is what that student is going to receive. It's a very, very brilliant thing you need to understand. Sanatan Dharma is very clear about this, and that is the whole relationship between a guru and shishya. Now, in this verse, Bhagavan says, starting from the fourth verse, actually, and what Bhagavan, and the topic which Bhagavan has started, Bhagavan is culminating or completing that topic here in the 19th verse here. Now, from the fourth verse up to the 13th verse is the topic of Karma Yoga. Okay, Karma Yoga is what has been expounded from the verse number 4 up to verse number 13. 14th, from the verse number 14 up to verse number 16, Bhagavan has explained about the cycle of this creation. Okay, the cycle which is constantly running in this creation, that Bhagavan has elaborated in those verses. And the context of explaining that cycle of creation is only that uh, that we as human beings would start working towards us, establishing ourselves in karma yoga. And we should not leave the opportunity, we should not leave an option, we should not leave a chance of missing out on karma yoga at all. And we should not be ever averse to yajna bhavana. That is one thing which Bhagavan wants us to do, because this whole creation is running about, is working properly, he is nourishing properly with the attitude of, with the spirit of yajna, That is why Bhagwan says, no, none of us as human beings have any right to stop or spoil this cycle of creation or obstruct this cycle of creation. In two verses, which is the last two verses, 17 and 18, Bhagwan has drawn our attention to such an exceptional human being. I'm using the word exceptional human being. Why? Such a Mahapurush. Mahapurush means, greatest among men. Let me just say that. Greatest among we human beings. Those people, those great people who are actually beyond this cycle of creation, who have crossed over the cycle of creation. The cycle of creation and is not applicable to them at all. 17th and 18th verse, as Bhagwan has elaborated upon such a person who is already beyond all kinds of duties. He's all kinds, he's free from all kinds of duties. That is what has been explained in verse number 17 and 18. And the reason Bhagwan has given for, or that is why this person is free from all kind of duties, is that whatever cycle of creation which Bhagwan, Supreme Consciousness, has set out for all of us, as why Bhagwan explained these two verses and draw our attention to such a man of realization who's beyond this. Why? Because we may misunderstand this thing. We may end up misunderstanding that there is some this cycle of creation is something in which decides the duties of everyone, and even a man of realization or a man of wisdom is also within this cycle. And we may end up looking at a man who's sitting there in deep meditation and say, what a waste of human life. We may end up commenting like that. That's a stupidity we end up doing. We are not even capable of commenting upon great saints and sages. They're at a different level and we can never understand their level. So that we do not misunderstand them and start pointing fingers on them, Bhagwan said that this cycle of creation does not need to be followed by this man of realization. And we may end up thinking that what Bhagwan has said in the previous, in the earlier verses, Agahayuhu Indriya Rama Mogam Parthasa Jivati, is applicable to a man of realization also. To avoid such kind of a doubt, to eliminate such kind of a doubt, or Bhagwan, while elaborating on this topic itself through these verses, had given us an indication of such a person who is outside this cycle of creation, who is not bound by this cycle of creation, who is already beyond all kinds of duties. Is in this verse, a Supreme Consciousness, Bhagavan Krishna, in the 8th and 9th verse, whatever topic he took up, Bhagwan is actually culminating that topic here. He's doing upasamhar of that topic here. So what is Bhagwan trying to say here? Tasmat asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Now, please pay attention to what is Bhagwan saying here. Because there are some words which Bhagwan has purposively said here. And I'm going to highlight those today when I take this particular verse now. Bhagwan is saying, Oh Arjun, hey Arjun, till the time you reach a state of reveling in the self, till the time you establish a state for yourself of reveling in the self, till that time, this is the instruction for you, which I'm telling you here. Tasmat. Tasmat means because it is this way, since you have not reached this state yet, that's why karma samachara, do your actions and duties well. Now, samyak acharan. Samachara means samyak acharana. Bhagwan is not saying achara. Bhagwan is not saying that, do the action as you feel like, as you wish, with whatever you can, you do, at least do the minimum set of. Bhagwan is not saying that at all. Please remember, Bhagwan has for a reason used this word karma samachara. He's used the word samachara. It's not about just doing the action. There are many people, if you tell them to do something, no, they will just do as they feel like. They have no, don't put heart or soul into it. Just with their attitude, they just do it and walk around. They think that, it doesn't matter how I do my work, is that I should complete the work. Many people give the logic also. It is about completing the work. No, why you have to see the quality? No, it is not like that. Work, work is, it's not about completion only. Work is always actually quality plus completion. Unless and until both the things are there, you cannot call that at work as completed. Completion need to be with quality. Quality is a must in that work. That is why Bhagwan is saying again and again, Bhagwan is using the word samyak, samyak. Many places Bhagwan is using the word. Do it well, do it well, do it well. So what is the order and instruction for us? Whatever action you do, in that action, bring out quality. Make an effort to bring out quality in that action. Just don't end up doing the way you feel like. Whatever is done, move on. Remember, that is not something which Bhagwan likes. Bhagwan is making it very clear here. Now I'll give you one and anecdote here. I'll give you one and point here, to explain. One person went to Swami Vivekanand ji. He went to Swami Vivekanand ji and said, Swamiji, please teach me meditation. Swamiji looked at him and Swamiji understood. Swamiji said, do one thing. Take this picture and please hang it on that wall. He went and, just hung it there. It was a little bit tilted, not hung properly at all. Swamiji looked at him and said, that, this piece of picture, you cannot, or, place it or hang it correctly. And then how are you going to sit down and control your mind? How are you going to work towards that? There's a small piece of work only you can't do correctly. And then you are talking about doing higher things of controlling mind and sitting in meditation. This simplest piece of work itself, you cannot do it correctly. And then you are talking about that you want to, learn meditation and do that. Swami said, go and at least bring out quality in your work first. Start from there. Why? Quality in work needs focus. Without focus, and when will we get focus? Unless and until we feel for what we are doing. We need to establish a connection with that. I'm just giving you an example. When our guru used to, give us something to do, we used to run around to make things happen. And even after working also, when the result never used to come, we used to look at our guru and they say, and we could see that guru never blamed us. That's the greatness of guru, not us. Greatness of guru is that he never used to say anything. Why? Because he knows that we are disciple, we end up making mistakes. He used to correct us where we went wrong. So normally what usually happens is that man is focused on completion of things. There are very few people who are focused on quality equally as completion. I'm not saying that quality alone is important. Do not forget about it. How is it important to get completed? Please remember, both the things are important. Work, when the task is given to us, completion is definitely important, but quality is equally important. Quality and completion both are the one which will make that work complete. So Bhagwan is asking us, making a clarion call to us that please, human being, look at the quality of work also, not only on the completion. Don't feel like just doing the work the way it is done. Let it be, we'll see the quality later on. Don't do that. Normally we do not have this practice, neither we have the habit of ensuring completion and the quality. We don't, and most of the times we don't keep both of the things together. I'm just giving you an example. Why? Because if we have to ensure both, definitely it will require hard work from us. We will have to go through certain difficulties to do that. But it is our duty, it is actually our duty that we maintain beauty in what we see. Duty and beauty both goes together. See now, it is our duty that we see the beauty of the work done also. It is our duty that we maintain beauty around us. It's not that just sit wherever you feel like. No, even when a man sits also, he first cleans the seat where he sits. It's not that you sit anywhere, get up from anywhere. It doesn't work like that. Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan is saying, if you are in Jiva Bhava, if you are living a life as a Jiva, you are in Jiva Bhava, you know, if you are not yet, spiritually awakened, or you are not, having spiritual wisdom now, it is not a state to be worried. It's not something to be worried about. But the only, promise you have to do is that you stay within these words which I'm telling you to do. You stay within these orders I'm telling you to do. You start doing karma yoga. Bhagavan is not saying that if you are not Atmaram, everything is over for you. Your life is destroyed. Bhagavan never said that. Your life is a waste. Bhagavan never said that. All of us are not Atmaram from the beginning itself, right? Bhagavan says, because you are not at this state yet of Atmaram and all, that is why you must do Karma Yoga. This is the only thing which will make sure that you will reach there, what I am told you in verse number 8, 17 and 18. The verses which I have indicated in these verses, that is why Bhagavan uses the word here, Param Purusha Apnoti. You will reach the ultimate for sure if you continuously follow up, follow that path which I am telling you to do. But the thing which you are doing, at least wake up now. Don't continue to sleep. You slept enough already. Wake up now. Pull up your socks. That's the first instruction. Karma samachara, and do your actions well. When we do our actions well, with beauty and quality, also along with completion, remember, during the period of action itself, we'll start feeling happiness. That's what I'm telling you now. Experience it yourself. You can take it back to your life and say that you will start gaining in a different kind of a happiness feeling within you while doing the action itself. Whatever action we do, if we develop the habit to generate beauty in that action, remember, for sure, or it's a guarantee, Bhagwan is giving here, that this person who ends up working towards that definitely is paving way for creating a lot of happiness in the future, and he's definitely working towards becoming free from all kind of bondages soon. Now, during the action itself, the different level of happiness starts to establish in the life of such a person. That is why the first instruction Bhagavan gives is karma samachara. Which karma, which action Bhagavan is saying? Karyam karma samachara. Whatever is your duty, whatever action arises out of your duty, do them well. Now, it is very sad to say, when we see the newspaper today, even the duty as husband, wife, parents, and all also, many are destroying that completely. And they don't understand. They are going down the path of destruction and hell themselves. For momentarily things, we are going down the drain actually, and we are dragging ourselves down that path. We are the one who is responsible. So Bhagavan says, Karyam karma samachara, whatever is your duty, do it well. Swadharmam api chapeksha, Bhagavan has already said that. Whatever is your swadharma, whatever is your respective duty, do it well. Samyak, do it in a beautiful manner, do it with quality. Remember, Bhagavan is instructing us very clearly that action should be there. Remember, do not fall back into inaction. Don't get into inaction at all. Or and what action you should do, that action which is as per your duty. The third thing Bhagwan has highlighted is, and do that also well. So three things what Bhagwan highlighted is, do not fall into inaction and do your respective duty. And the third thing Bhagwan said is, do that duty well. Do that duty with beauty. Add beauty to that work. Now, join this with the 8th verse which Bhagwan has said, Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. There Bhagwan said, use the word Niyatam. And here Bhagwan says Karyam. Now, in both these verses, there is one thing which is common. What? The common thing is that when you do this way, remember, there will be bondage. You will still be tied. Right? There will be facets of bondage there. Since the aspect of bondage will be there, that is why Bhagwan is using the word asaktaha karyam karma samachara. Be free from attachment and do your duty well, but try to ensure that you are not attached to things there. Be detached and do action. Asakta karyam karma samachara. This is the thing which you need to join in between. Now, the only way to actually destroy the bondage is that we do our respective duty, remaining detached from everything. But that duty also, even though we are detached and we are doing our respective duty, but since we are detached and don't end up doing that duty the way we want. No, add beauty to that work. So add beauty to that work, but remain detached. But do your respective duty. All the things we do should fall all in this category. That we should end up doing action this way, the way Bhagwan is saying. Definitely we should add beauty to the work, and definitely we should ensure that the work is also done. So action should be there, and samachara should also be there. And in the action, it should be whatever is our respective duty, that is the one we should end up doing. And while doing that, we should try to remain detached in that action. And the other thing we need to do is, my action, my achievement, and my ego that I am doing it, these things keep getting joined. These are the things which we have to cut off. That it is my action, it is my achievement, it is my ego that I did this and all. That are the things we need to start cutting off. And this is not easy at all. It is definitely difficult. That is why Bhagwan has earlier said, yogasthak kuru karmani tadartham karma kaunteya yajnarthat karmanonyatra. Now, when Bhagwan says asakta, when Bhagwan uses this word here, the meaning we should take is that what has been said in with these three things which I just mentioned: yogastha kuru karmani, tadartham karma kaunteya, yajnarthat karmanonyatra. We have to take the meaning in that context, in those contexts. Keeping the context of those verses itself, Bhagwan Bhashyakar are here writes the meaning of the word asakta as Ishwarartham, for the happiness of Bhagwan. For let Bhagwan and be happy with my work. Asakta, the word. Now remember one thing, asakta is not something which can be achieved at a standalone level. You cannot become asakta on your own. You cannot do that at all as a standalone thing. It's not that I'll try to become detached and I will become detached. No, it cannot happen at all. If it is not my achievable, it is not my achievement, it's not my achievable, well, and so then whose achievable it should be? For whom that achievable should be? For God. right? I have to shift it from my achievable to God's achievable. I should shift it from my result to God's result. I'm doing it for him. I have to, make that paradigm shift in my work, that, if it's not my achievable, it is God's achievable. Now, if it is not my achievable and it is not God's achievable also, then it will be like a unmatta kriyavat. Unmatta kriyavat means like a madman. It will be directionless. It will be completely directionless. Why? Because it is not even for me. It is not even for God. Then who the hell it is for? Without having it for someone, you can't do a directionless activity, right? It will become unmatta kriyavat, like a mad person. He doesn't know where he's going because he doesn't have a destination. He doesn't know, oh, a destination. He doesn't have a destination, so he's walking wherever he feels like walking. He's going up, unmatta kriyavat. So, no action can be directionless in totality. It cannot be. It doesn't matter if we are in jiv bhav. It's not a worry at all. But we should only maintain that, we should only work towards a fact that, uh, don't limit yourself to that jiva bhava. Don't do that. Don't limit it yourself to a manushya also, to a human being also. Rather, convert that into a bhakta, to a devotee of Bhagwan. Don't remain as a jiva. Don't remain as a human also. Coin that word, that I'm not a jiva now. I'm not a human being. I'm a bhakta. It's a different category altogether. When we are able to work like that, remember, that is when the path for my growth, vertical growth, opens up. If we, continue to remain as jiva throughout our life, or a human being throughout our life, we are not going to gain anything at all. We are not going to grow. We are not going to develop into anything. you know at the maximum, if while keeping those two kind of thought process with us, that I'm a jiva and manushya, even if I end up doing good action, satkarma, remember one thing: by only doing satkarma or good action, and just look around and see what people have gained. If that satkarma or good deed or good action of mine and does not have bhakti involved in it, does not, or grow into bhakti in it, remember, it will remain as shrama eva hi kevalam. It is a mere sweating only, is mere sweating and toiling, and that is what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Ji. I'm bringing it out from Srimad Bhagavad. This line, Shrama eva hi kevalam. If there is no aspect of bhakti in your satkarma, it is a mere sweating and toiling. It is not going to lead you into anything. Now, convert it yourself from human being into a bhakta, and then lead a life, and then think that, what is the order of my God, my Bhagwan, my boss for me, and whatever is his order, I will end up doing that. I want to do that. I should have that humility in me, that I should have that compassion in me, I should have that humility in me, I should have that subtlety in me, that I am able to understand his instruction for me. I am able to listen to the antaratma of me, listen to my inner voice. I am able to listen to my God. In Granth Sahib, you know, in Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak Ji is explained, and a man and a good human being, or a, what you call that, evolved human being, as that one who is able to understand the instruction of God given to him or her. He doesn't need to be told anything. Without even telling also, this man understands what feels and understands what God wants from me. Just one example which my Puja Guruji used to give is that a goldsmith, you know, oh, how a goldsmith joins small pieces of gold and completes an ornament. In the same way, a supreme consciousness, Bhagwan Krishna, also, oh, has given us such valuable pieces of advice, is, by joining words together, by joining teachings together. And Bhagavan says, asakta karyam karma samachara. Not like our state today. I am detached. Swamiji, I am detached. How long are you detached? 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. That is the level of my detachment today. Not that level of detachment and which is going to work for you. It's not going to give you anything. How long are you a bhakta? I am bhakta only by the time I'm in my puja room. That also, if I end up missing that, then forget, I'm not even a bhakta for that moment also. Bhagwan says it's not going to work like that. Bhagwan says satatam means 24 hours a day. Satatam means all the time. How all the time? The way we are identified with our body 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The way we identify ourselves as human being, in the same way, for a seeker, he or she should have that identification that I'm no one but a bhakta, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The way we are identified today as this body and this human being and jiva. Tasmat asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. If we are able to understand this and imbibe this in our life, Bhagwan says, asakto hi acharan karma. If we are able to, imbibe this in our life and remaining detached, we are able to move through all our actions in our life. Bhagwan is promising us, Purusha param apnoti. This man is sure, it's sure shot that this man is going to gain the ultimate, the eternal. Param means Atmarati, Atmarati, Atmatripti, Atmasantushti, which Bhagavan has already explained in the verse number 17 and 18. And that state, which I have already glorified in the last two verses, remember Arjun, you can also reach that state. The only promise you have to give me is that the only condition for that is you do this what I'm telling you to do. That much for today. Rest we'll see in the next session. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम तत्सत्